When you hear Iran in today's news, you think of sanctions, nuclear programs, political rallies, chanting crowds. A nation defined by what it opposes. To understand Iran only through today's headlines is like judging Rome by its ruins. You miss everything that matters. Because Iran is not just a country. It is a civilization. One of the oldest, most influential on Earth. Rewind 2,500 years. The year is 550 BC. There is no Rome. The Acropolis is being built. And here, on this dusty plateau, a king named Cyrus is about to forge the first true empire the world had ever seen. This is the story of an idea that refused to die. It's an idea that has risen from ashes more times than any other on Earth. From the halls of Persepolis to the streets of Tehran today, this is the history of Iran, the first superpower. 550 to 330 BC, Cyrus the Great did something unheard of. He conquered Babylon, then issued a decree on a clay cylinder. He freed conquered peoples, including the Jews, to return home and worship as they pleased. He respected local customs, tolerated all faiths. This cylinder is often called the first charter of human rights. His successors, Darius and Xerxes, built the machinery of empire. The royal road stretched 1,600 miles with relay stations for royal messengers. The Greek historian Herodotus would marvel, neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers. And they built Persepolis. A massive stone terrace carved with reliefs of delegates from 23 nations bringing gifts to the King of Kings. It was a statement in stone. The world was united under Persian peace. For 2 centuries, this system worked. Then, a small, troublesome collection of city-states in Greece became a problem. Clash of Titans. 499 to 330 BC. Xerxes invaded Greece in 480 BC. He burned Athens, but his navy was destroyed at Salamis. The Greeks wrote this as the triumph of freedom over tyranny. For Persia, it was a minor annoyance on a distant frontier. But a new threat was rising. Alexander of Macedon, 22 years old, obsessed with glory, crossed into Asia. At Gaugamela, he smashed the Persian army. He marched to Persepolis. At a drunken banquet, he threw a torch into the Great Hall. The ceremonial heart of the First Empire burned. The last Achaemenid king was murdered. The first Iran was dead. The resurrection, 247 BC to 651 AD. For a century, Greek kings ruled Iran, but the soul of Persia was merely sleeping. From the northeast, the Parthians emerged. Superb horsemen, masters of the Parthian, shot a feigned retreat. Then arrows loosed backward at pursuers. For 300 years, they were Rome's greatest rival. At Carrhae in 53 BC, they surrounded the Roman legions and shot them to pieces. Then, in 224 AD, a prince from the ancient heartland of Persis rebelled. Artaxerxes founded the Sassanid Empire, the second great Persian Empire. They consciously revived the past, carving their images beside the Achaemenid kings at Naqsh-e-Rostam. They made Zoroastrianism the state religion. Fire temples burned across the land. They built grand cities like Ctesiphon, whose great arch still stands. And they fought Ramna, the Byzantine Empire, for 400 years. Under Khusro II, they conquered Egypt, the Levant, and seized the true cross from Jerusalem. But they were exhausted, and from the south, a new storm gathered. The storm, 651 AD. Islam exploded from Arabia. At Al-Qadisiyah, in 636, the Arab armies shattered the Sassanian forces. The Second Persian Empire was gone. Zoroastrianism faded. Fire temples became mosques. The language of the court gave way to Arabic. Iran was a province of an Arab empire. But the conquerors were about to learn a lesson. Conquering Iran was one thing. Conquering its soul was another. The Persian Renaissance. 750 to 1258. The Abbasids built Baghdad near the ruins of Ctesiphon, and they relied on Persian administrators, The language didn't die. It re-emerged as Farsi. Then, a poet named Ferdowsi spent 30 years writing the Shahnameh, the Book of Kings, an epic poem preserving the myths and legends of pre-Islamic Iran. This was the Persian Renaissance. Avicenna, Omar Khayyam, al-Biruni, the greatest minds of the Islamic Golden Age, worked in this Persian cultural sphere. Iran had conquered its conquerors. The Apocalypse, 1219 to 1335. Then came the Mongols. In 1219, they invaded. They annihilated cities like Merv and Nishabur, piling skulls into pyramids. But even the Mongols were absorbed. Their rulers, the Ilkhunids, converted to Islam and became patrons of Persian culture. The Shia Empire, 1335 to 1722. In 1501, Ismail declared himself Shah and made 12 Shia Islam the official religion. Under Shah Abbas the Great, the Safavids built Isfahan, a city so beautiful they said, Isfahan is half the world. The Crucible, 1722 to 1925. The Safavids fell. Nader Shah, a military genius, briefly rose before his empire collapsed. The Qajar dynasty then ruled a weak Iran, caught between Russia and Britain. The Pahlavi dream, 1925 to 1979. Reza Khan founded the Pahlavi dynasty, modernizing the nation. His son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, took the throne, but was briefly seen as a puppet after the 1953 coup against Mossad. Rapid modernization under the White Revolution created wealth, but also dissent. By 1978, protests erupted. The Shah fled in 1979. Khomeini returned to a triumphant Islamic revolution, the Islamic Republic. 1979 present. A new system of clerical authority was born. The hostage crisis and the brutal 8-year Iran-Iraq war followed. Today, Iran faces contradictions. A young, educated population seeking change amidst a theocratic state and international sanctions. This is the deeper story. A civilization that has faced obliteration and risen every time. From Cyrus to the protesters today, the idea of Iran endures. A phoenix risen from its own ashes. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey, please like and subscribe. We'll see you in the past.